And on we go today with spreadsheets. What I'm going to try to do today is a simple spreadsheet, nothing too complicated, but it's going to be just a household budget spreadsheet using Excel 2003. Everything I do in this today can be done in the 2010 version with the ribbon, but being as I haven't got it on my computer, then we'll have to manage with the 2003 version, but it's very, very similar. So we'll start right from the top. On the very top line here we have, you can see it's Microsoft Excel, and it tells us it's book 1. The reason it's selected book 1 is because we haven't saved any other name. So straight away it gives it the title book 1. Once we've saved it, once we've had information to save, that will change to whatever name we give it. Across here we have the standard toolbars. If you want to add something different, right click on a bit of space. You can see there's the standard toolbar, the formatting toolbar, and the task pane. They're all in that area together, so we don't need to add any more at the moment. If we do, we'll come to that subject as and when. As you can see, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H are the column names that it gives it automatically, and 1 to 49 you can see down here is the row names, which again is automatic. The reference that you give them during your use in Excel is quite simply C5 is that square there. If you want to choose column E 13, that would refer to that particular space there. That cell, these little boxes that we can see here, are called cells, and each cell has its own particular address. H9 would be that particular square there. And this is the way we do the mathematics in Excel and spreadsheets, by simply referring to the content of a particular cell. It's very difficult when we're doing spreadsheets to remember what we've got in the various columns, and invariably I tend to use the first row 1, to put in some titles. For example, date. All spreadsheets need dates, because it's the date you put information in. I'll put a few more in. Because it's a household budget spreadsheet, we do most of our shopping at Tesco, so I'll put Tesco in. We do shop at other places such as Spar in Sutton-on-Sea, or maybe go down to Lidl, but because there's not too much, we can group them together as other. D, another major expense most people have, is the mortgage or the rent. Now as you can see, column D, mortgage stroke rent, has overflowed. Now we can deal with that two ways. We can grab hold of the side there and just drag it out to fit. Or, just going back, what we can do is we can actually personalize this a little bit by formatting the cell and tell it to align it, for a start, in the center. We want to wrap the text, but as you can see, it's done a good job there. Mortgage stroke rent. All the others you'll see at the bottom, because we've aligned that cell. In fact, we could do the whole row here, I think. Let's just format the cells to be centered at the bottom, and we'll wrap the text. So everything that appears in this top line, or in this top row, will have those attributes set to it. Let's give it some more headings. I suppose if it's mortgage, you have to think of the horrible council tax. And when you're talking on household bills, we have to have, oh dear, electric. No, just stick with electric. Good old gas, water, telephone. What else could we have? Petrol. Those of us with cars. If you've got a car, then also you're probably paying car tax. You've got no choice on that one, have you? You need to budget for it. And with the car tax comes car insurance. With insurance, of course, we'd have the home insurance. Get it right. There we go. And so we can go on. I think that's enough just for our demonstration anyway. So we have all these titles. Telling the columns what they are is very simple as well. If we press the A column, it will highlight the whole lot. And we can set the attributes of this to be a date. That's our date column. We'll choose that particular 14th of March. We can have it 1403 or 14th of March or 1403, whatever. We can set this out pretty much any way you want. I like the longer date, so we'll stick that in. Basically that means that when I put in a date there, say 25, and you can put it in virtually any format you like with separators, but once I click on the once I click to accept that data, it will tell me straight away it's the 25th of April, and it will give me that. Doesn't matter what format I put in, as long as I use common separators. 2nd of May 2011. We'll put the whole date in for you. Very clever, very handy little tool. Okay, so let's put some figures in here. We'll say that we've spent £93.45 at Tesco. On other, we might have spent £31, say, in a penny. But if you notice, what's happening is it's only putting numbers. It's not putting amounts of cash, which is what I wanted this to be, a cash flow. So I can actually highlight the whole lot and format the cell to be currency. Pounds, 2 decimal places, wonderful. And you can see it automatically has now put in the pound sign. Didn't pay any mortgage rent that particular week, council tax, electric, gas, water, telephone are monthly things and it comes in the middle of the month, but petrol this particular week, had a long journey, so I spent £45. Car insurance is weekly. Sorry, monthly. There we have the basic layout. Spreadsheet's no good unless we can total things up. So using the next column, column N, what I will do is use a simple formula. Now the formula I will use is very easy to use, and it is very simple to put in. Basically we need to tell this particular column that it will equal the sum total. In other words, it'll add it up for us. Open your brackets to tell it where, and everything from B right the way through to the home insurance, add it up for us. And as you can see, it's put B2 to M2, so B2 to M2. If we're happy with that, close the brackets at the end of it and press enter, and it will tell us £169.46. Those of you with lightning fast brains will have worked that out to be spot on. In here we can see that it's got a little corner filled in, and if you click on that corner, it will tell us that the formula in this cell refers to a range that has additional numbers adjacent to it. What the hell does that mean is the first thing that jumps to mind. Basically it means there's a slight fault. What I will do is I'll update the formula to include the cells that it's referring to, and straight away it gives us a load of baloney, because the number I put in there was 250,000 or 2 million. I don't know what it was. Click on the box. 25,400,000 to 402,011. Slightly exaggeration, isn't it? So basically what the error meant was that I wasn't adding in that very first column. So let's go back to where the error is. Because we know what it is, you click on there, you can ignore this error, which takes it away completely. We know that the sum is right because we've added it up on our calculator, probably because we don't trust the computer very much at this stage. I will give this a title. That'll be total for the week. Okay, let's put some additional data in, which I shall do without it recording, so next time you see this it will be filled out some. So there we are, that's a few little bits and pieces put in for you, as if by magic. Right, here's the first row we did. I've added a few more. These figures are entirely fictitious, so if they don't seem to make any common sense, that's because it's just made up out of my head. Right, so here's our first total of the week, as you remember was £169.46. I'll put the dates in sort of right up to this week. So you see 25th of April, right, we want the total for a month here and the total for the year, which I've added in. So if I make that cell equal N1, no, N3, N because it's in column N, and 3 because it's on row 3, equals N3. And that just basically tells it equals that. If now I move on down to the end of May, which is row 8, yeah, I can then tell it that it equals the sum of open brackets from that date to there. So that is from N4 to N8. Close the brackets around it and enter, and it tells us that the total of this particular month, the month of May, is £1,352.66. And the same we can do with June. We can tell it equals the sum of open brackets, everything from there to there, close the brackets and enter. So now we're starting to get a bit of a pattern coming here. We've got the month of April, £169.46. The month of May we've spent £1,352.66, and in June so far we've spent £1,173.96. The next column is the total for the year, which obviously you wouldn't normally fill in till the end of the year, although you can put it in as subtotals. And again, it's just as simple as this, equals sum, open brackets, those two figures there, close brackets, 1,600. Yep, that's spot on. This one here, to give us a total of the year so far, would be, oops, equals the sum, open brackets, all that lot, close brackets. It now tells us £2,696.08. And this is the way your spreadsheet carries on. Looking a little bit further ahead now, you look at a spreadsheet and you think, gosh, it's all numbers and I can't identify which is which. I need to know which is separate months at a glance. So we can very simply put in a few little fillers. We'll tell it to fill that particular square with the yellow, and make it black writing. May, we'll maybe go a bit more towards sunshine. June, baking hot, so we can fill it in with a bit of red, and so forth. That you can see at a glance which is which. Totals, you can highlight a whole column if you wish, and print that in green. Looks a bit yucky, doesn't it? So we'll put no fill on it. Oh. No fill. But we can change the text colour to a green perhaps. There we go. We change the text colour on this one, bright pink, and the one for the year, I don't know, a bit of purple perhaps. There we go. Progressive. And you can do mostly what you want. One thing I did while I was adding the data in, I just wanted to see these lines a bit clearer. And if I highlight this square between A1 and the corner, if you click on that, that will highlight everything. And you can, in fact, put your markers and your borders around everything that you particularly want. You just take that lot off. Here we go. That's the way it was. If I want to just highlight this spreadsheet as it is, if I drag from A1 down to the end of the spreadsheet and a little bit beyond, go into the borders section here, and I can highlight the whole lot, which will put the boxes in where you can't normally see them. So when I go to print preview, I can see the whole of my spreadsheet. There we go. And that is our spreadsheet. That about wraps it up for this week. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'm sorry about the few errors. It's as new to me as perhaps it is to you. Enjoy the rest of the meeting.